This is a Hatha class, and what that means is that we will go slow. We will do integrated poses with lots of really useful alignment cues, and we will start with some traditional breath work. So sit up nice and tall and take your palms to face flat on your thighs. Close your eyes. Take a long, deep breath in through your nose. Exhale out through your mouth. Inhale as much air as you can get, taking a little sip at the top. Right when you think you can't inhale anymore, exhale out through your mouth. Good. Take one more breath like that. Amazing. And now take your peace fingers and place the peace fingers of your right hand right against your third eye, so the space between your nostrils. Take your right thumb against your right nostril, and the other two fingers drape over your left nostril. Now breathe in through both nostrils. If you need to blow your nose before you do it, please do. You have to be able to breathe clearly through both nostrils. Exhale out all your air. Alternate nostril breath. Plug your right nostril, hold it in, inhale through your left nostril, and then plug both nostrils and hold your breath. Open your thumb, exhale through your right nostril. Now inhale again through your right nostril. Plug both nostrils and hold your breath. Exhale through your left nostril. Inhale left. Plug your nose, hold your breath at the top. Exhale right. Inhale right. Plug and hold. Exhale left. Inhale left. Hold your breath. Exhale right. Can you keep going, making the breaths in, out, and the holds as long or as short as you need based on your own lung capacity? You have 1 minute on your own of alternate nostril breathing. The next time you exhale through your left side, can you release both hands down to your thighs and close your eyes? Start to breathe in and out through both nostrils, just really getting the full integration of this balancing breath work. Either leave your hands at your thighs or catch them together at your heart and set an intention for your practice. Something you'd like to achieve, something you'd like to create, or maybe let go of. Then take a big breath in through your nose. Open your mouth wide, exhale with an audible sigh, so a ha breath. Yeah, take your hands now and interlace your hands. Open your eyes, push your palms down, puff into your upper back, send your arms forward, look right towards your belly. And now inhale, reach your arms up. Imagine you were trying to separate your hands, but you don't actually do it. It's just that little action of pulling in opposite directions, and then you'll feel the work through the forearms, maybe all the way up to your biceps. Good. Take your palms together and bring your hands back down through your heart. Stay here. Inhale through your nose. And exhale through your mouth. Interlace your hands. Push your palms down. Same as before. Puff into your upper back. Reach your arms forward. Start to lengthen and straighten your spine as your arms come up overhead. But this time, with those palms outstretched to the ceiling, glue both sit bones to the floor and reach over to the left. Reach over to the left, bending at your elbows if you need to. Start to feel the big pull through that side body. Go ahead, come back through center and reach over into the opposite direction. A big breath comes in and out. Moderate movement back through neutral. Take your hands and reach your hands out to either side. Turn your palms to face up. Palms are facing up, so your fingers are reaching towards the ceiling. They might even start to track back, like they're trying to tap your shoulders. They certainly won't. Take a big breath in here. Good, and on the exhale, rotate towards one side. Either side is fine. Take the back hand behind you, and the front hand will come across the opposite thigh. Lengthen through your spine before you turn your gaze and that top shoulder back, starting to get some twisted articulation in your spine. Inhale, lift back up through center. Spread your fingers really, really wide as you do this. Open your arms wide. Find a little back bend in neutral so your heart and chest opens up. Then turn your palms to face down and start to shift over to twist in the opposite direction. Good. Keep rotating your shoulder back, your head and neck rotate back. And it's just breath that finds you here. Nice work. Pull it back through center. Take your arms up, reach your arms up really high. Look to your fingers, breathe in. Exhale, take your hands down to your heart center. Perfect. Turn your body around and come down onto all fours with or without your blanket under your thighs. Come down onto all fours. Stack your hands beneath your shoulders. Hips are above your knees. And take the slowest cat-cow undulations of your spine that you've ever taken. So you're dropping your belly down, lifting your heart up on the inhale. And the exhale invites this roundedness through your upper back, belly tucks in, and you gaze to your tummy. Do just 3 of these. Slow, 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 like there's nowhere to go. Good, one more. Perfect. Come back into a neutral spine. Flex your feet and sit back onto your heels. Sit back onto your heels. Take your hands, reach your arms out. Palms are facing down. Take a big breath in. And then exhale, make fists with your hands. Drop those fists down and just rock the fists from side to side. Just rock your fists from side to side. You're working the fascia on the soles of your feet. Take your fists in great big circles so the whole hand rolls around 3 times in each direction. Beautiful. And now turn your left hand so the palm is facing down, the fingers reaching down towards the floor. Use your right palm to pull your fingers in. Lower that left shoulder. Take a breath in. Exhale. Let's do that on the other side. Then you get to release your feet. I know they're probably screaming at you right now. Take a breath in. And exhale. Good. Palms come flat onto the floor. Turn onto the tops of your feet and just tap the tops of your feet onto the mat. Tap, 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 tap. Really good. Ground down through your left hand and your right knee. Pick up your left leg and stretch out your right arm. Pull your belly button into your spine. Now, often we'll come and curl into the center, but today, can you open out towards the side and then pull back through neutral? So that's the action. You're just opening to the side and pulling back through neutral. But as you do that, see if you can keep your belly plugged in towards your spine. If you can keep that left hand really grounded. One more like that, flirting with some instability right off the bat today. And then ground your right hand and your left leg. Lift up the left arm and the right leg. Opening your arm to the left, your leg to the right, and pulling them back in. It's a really slow movement, starting to work some of the muscles in your glutes. Good. Pull your core in so your belly and your abs get a little work here too. Subtle but real. And then release your hands down. Now take your palms and flip them around. Flip your palms around so your fingers face your body. And if they can't quite turn all the way around, they might face out to the side. That's okay. Sink back your heels and start to peel the palms of your hands, just the edges of your palms away from the floor. Breathe into the space between your shoulder blades. Good. Keep peeling even more of your palms off the floor. Now you're stretching behind the fingers and sit back onto your heels. Take your arms, inhale, reach your arms up, look up. And as you exhale, could you scoop your right arm underneath your left arm? Either tacking the backs of your hands or the fronts of your hands together. Suck your belly button in, reach your fingers up and look down. You're just squeezing, squeezing, squeezing into the arms and breathing, breathing, breathing into the shoulder blades. Good, beautiful, deep stretch. Open your arms wide, take it to the other side, left arm under. It's the backs of your hands or your palms that collide. And really think about smooshing your forearms together. Engaging your core like you're zipping or tying up a corset. And then booming your breath back into your shoulder blades. Just a few moments here. Incredible. Take your hands and place your hands back down onto the floor in front of you and simply step your right foot between your hands. Lean forward and send your left leg back so your left leg is on a long, deep angle. The right knee is in front of, or above rather, the right ankle. Now inhale, lift your heart and chest up. Option to stay here with your hands on the ground, or maybe you take your hands to heart center. Once you're there, glue down through the big toe mound of that right foot, inhale, and as you exhale, interlace your hands, push your palms down to the inside of that right knee, and then stretch your arms forward and reach them all the way up. Good, option to stay here, or could you try to reach over towards the right? Now as you're doing this, you're squeezing your glutes, squeezing your inner thighs in towards one another. Pull back through center, tailbone drops down. Could you even reach over to the left now? Lots of muscular work in the legs, lots of balance. Come back through neutral. Bring your hands first through heart center. Pause there, take a breath in. Then exhale and take your left hand onto the floor on the inside of your right foot, or maybe the left hand comes onto a block. And you can always move your right foot over, especially if you're pregnant and you're carrying a baby in there. Let's start to move the right arm in these big lunar circles. So take your right arm in 3 circles in one direction, and then change directions, 3 circles in the opposite direction. Good. Place your right hand down to the inside of that right foot. Sink your hips back to your heels and pick up your right toes. Pick up your right toes. Using blocks or just placing your hands on the floor. They're framing that right foot. Can you fold forward and feel that amazing stretch along the whole back line of your leg? Maybe into your QL, maybe into your back, right? Play with a little shift here. Even the angle of your toes can change the sensation. Awesome. And then bring your hands forward just to support you as you take that right leg back. Come onto all fours. Pick up your right foot. Hug your right heel towards your bum and start to move your right knee in circles, 3 circles in each direction. So we're really, really mild hip mobilization here. Nice work. And then lower your right knee down. Keep your hips above your knees, but walk your hands forward. Feels a bit like a trust ball. Draw up your forehead to the floor. Hips are above your knees. This is called Anahatasana, or melting heart pose. And you're really active through the arms. Take a breath into your upper back. Exhale completely. Good. Pick yourself up. Creep your hands back towards all fours, and we'll try that same sequence on the other side. Step your left foot between your hands to start. Extend your right leg back. And let yourself get a little obsessive about the semantics of the shapes today. So instead of rushing through like we do in a flow pose, just marinate. Just really linger in these big, deep stretches. Option is to keep the hands on the floor, or maybe you pick your hands up to heart center. And if you've come this far, really engage the muscles of your legs, interlace your hands, push your palms down, and then stretch your hands forward and all the way up. Now there's a zipping up that happens through the core. It feels like that pulling up through your pelvis. Your glutes are engaged as you first reach over towards the left. Not a big reach, just a little reach, and then come back through center and reach over to the right. Nice job. Come through neutral, take a breath in, maybe even lift your gaze up before you bring your hands back to heart center and take your right hand down to the inside of that left foot. And here's those wonderful lunar shoulder circles 3 times in each direction. Beautiful. Take your left hand down to the outside of your left foot and start to walk your hands back. Lift up your left toes. Good. Lower your torso down over that left thigh, navigating your body all the way through a bit of a, tumultuous hamstring stretch. But you can shift and move from side to side. Find the place that feels good and breathe here. Amazing. Walk your hands and that foot back through center. Take your time to step your left foot back, stamp down both palms, and right away you're on all fours, turned to all threes. Lift up your left leg, hug the heel in towards your bum, hip circles. Really, really good therapeutic work for your hip joint. This whole sequence actually is excellent for anyone that sits all day. Turn that around in the opposite direction. And now release both knees down. Take your body back through center and stamp your left palm down. Bring it a little closer to the midline. Inhale, reach your right arm up towards the ceiling. Knees can separate a little wider here because as you exhale, can you scoop your left arm, sorry, your right arm under your left arm? But then change your mind. Inhale, pull back up, reach your right arm skyward. Exhale, scoop your right arm under. Last time, inhale, stretch your right arm high. And exhale, take your right arm under your left arm. Place your right ear either on the floor or on your block. And start to walk the left fingers forward. Maybe the left fingers tiptoe across your yoga mat. Take 3 deep breaths. Good. Push into your left hand. Lift yourself up. Take your right arm and reach it all the way to the sky. And then place your right hand down on the floor. From all fours, take 1 cat-cow. So your belly falls down, shoulders loop back, heart lifts up. Exhale, rounding into your upper back. Keep your right hand stable. Inhale, lift your left arm up. 3 little scoops. The left arm reaches under your right arm. And then you change your mind and bring it back up, sinking the hips to the heels as that hand crisscrosses under your right side. On this 3rd repetition, pause, lower your left ear to your block, maybe to the floor. Stretch your right fingers forward and give breath to your left shoulder. Give breath to your left shoulder. 3 cycles. Good. Push into your right hand. Take your left arm all the way out. Stretch it up. And now your left hand comes to the floor. Take your block back behind you. Either move into child's pose or into your first downward facing dog. So whichever suits your practice. 5 deep breaths here. 4, 3, 2. Come to downward dog if you're down in child's pose. Lift your gaze forward and step your right foot between your hands. Drop your left foot 45 degrees. So the toes are facing 45 degrees before you come up. And make sure that your feet are about hip distance apart. It looks like they're on little railroad tracks. Now sink deep into that front knee as well as into the outside edge of your back foot and engage the left thigh. You might take your hands for some tactile feedback onto your pelvis and pull your pubic bone up as you drop your tailbone down. Take your hands, please, right to your heart center. Inhale. Exhale, sink deeper into that front knee. Here's 1. Inhale. Exhale, maybe you lift your arms up. That's 2. Inhale. Exhale, keep rooting through your back foot for 3. Inhale, lift your gaze. Exhale, sink your right knee for 4. Take 1 more breath in. And exhale, bring your hands together at your heart. Lean forward and step to the top of your yoga mat. Place your left foot down. Step your right foot back into that same warrior 1 lunge. You're really inching down through the sole of your right foot, particularly the pinky edge side. Meanwhile, your left knee is driving towards your 3rd toe. So you can see your big toe if you look down. That means your femur bone is externally rotated. Bring your hands to your heart. Inhale. Exhale for 1. Inhale, pull your pubic bone up. Exhale, sink deeper into that left knee. Inhale, squeeze your glutes together. Exhale, feel the stretch along the front of your hip flexor. Inhale, reach your arms up. Exhale. Take 1 more breath in. And exhale, bring your hands to heart center. Step to the top of your yoga mat. Take your hands onto your hips and rock your hips from side to side. And then turn that rocking into a figure 8 shape. So you're drawing the letter, the number with your hips. And do that in the opposite direction. Good. Keep your right foot glued to the floor. Step your left foot all the way back. This time your toes face the left long edge of your yoga mat. Bend into your right knee and keep it stacked above your right ankle before you open your arms wide. Warrior 2. And look over your right middle finger. And as you take your 5 cycles of breath here, consider that it's not just muscle and bone that keeps you in a yoga shape. It's prana or energy or chi. See if you can tune into some of that. 3 more breaths here. Straighten your front leg. Reach your right fingertips forward as your left hip stretch back and lower your right hand to your shin as you take your left arm either to your hip or right up to the ceiling. And if your left arm reaches all the way up, could you set your thumb directly above your nose? Now, looking down at your knees, keep your hands your left hand where it is. Take your right hand onto your right shin and imagine you could, or even try to pull the skin of your right shin up towards your kneecap. At the same time, can you push through the outside edge of your left foot? Good. Press into both feet. Take your hand to your hip and lift all the way up through center. Now both toes face the long edge of your yoga mat. Bring your hands to your hips. Inhale, lift your heart and chest up. With an exhale, begin to fold forward. Place your hands down beneath your shoulders and then lift up again, just halfway up onto your fingertips. Exhale, hinge down, walk your hands back. So the edges of your hands meet the edges of your heels and let your head cave towards the floor. This is an inversion. So your whole blood circulatory system, everything is getting a flip over right now. If you feel dizzy, come out. Otherwise, you're just breathing here for 3. Lean the weight into the balls of your feet. 2. And 1. Walk your hands towards the front of the long edge of your mat, so just under your shoulders. Lengthen your spine as you inhale. Push into your feet. Bring your hands to your hips. Exhale to come up. And now turn your left toes towards the short edge of your yoga mat, towards the back of your yoga mat. Bend into that left knee. Spread the toes on your feet really, really wide and peer over your left middle fingers. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Straighten out both legs. Reach your left fingers forward. Take your left hand down to your shin. The right arm reaches to the ceiling, or maybe it stays on your hips. Can you start to tack your left hip under? Really push through the outside edge of your right thigh. And then breathe here, light as a feather with that left hand. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Push into your feet. Rise all the way back up. Turn your toes to face forward. Lower down as you exhale. And this time, try to reach your peace and love fingers towards your big toes. Inhale, lengthen your spine. The weight is falling to the balls of your feet. And as you exhale, bend into your elbows and let the top of your head sink towards the earth. Feel that work in the back line of your legs. Breathe into it and then start to suck your kneecaps up towards your thighs. You're here for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Walk your hands back beneath your shoulders. Inhale to lengthen. Take a micro bend in your knees. Bring your hands to your hips. The exhale brings you back up. Good. And now walk your feet together. And you guessed it. Can you take those little figure 8 movements again? I'm taking a salsa lesson tomorrow, so I need to get some practice in. All right, from standing, take your hands together at your heart. Bend into your left knee. Take the foot either below your knee, so against your shin, or above your knee. Tree pose. Today, can you see how it feels to open your eyes really brightly, really wide, and lift your gaze up? So if you're in a room and you can see that little line between the ceiling and the wall, try to look there. If you feel steady enough when you get there, you might reach your arms all the way up. You might bend at your elbows, or you could interlace your hands and stretch over to one side. If you've tried that on one side, glue the foot back into the standing leg and try to reach over to the other side. Yeah, it's okay if it's wobbly. And come back through center, lower your hands to your heart, bring that knee forward, release it down, and find mountain pose. Good job. Take a breath in. And a big sigh out. Shall we try that on the other side? So your opposite foot, that's your right foot now, comes into the standing leg. First stop is just the hands at your heart center. Absolutely, you could stay here. Second stop, reach your arms up overhead. Hands are interlaced. And maybe you stretch over to one side, getting into that lateral side body, all that really gunky stuff after sitting. Maybe you stretch over to the other side. And as you come back through center, can you reset your eyes up on that little crevice between the ceiling and the wall? Bright, bright eyes, like you're happy to be here. Grateful to have this mobility practice. Bring your hands down to your heart. Good, and then tuck the knee in and lower the foot down to the floor. Take your hands alongside your body. Just stand completely still. Stand completely still. Take a deep breath in through your nose. And exhale out through your mouth. Go ahead and sit down on your yoga mat. Come to sit down on your yoga mat. Take water now if you're thirsty. And you might sit on the edge of a block if you feel like when you go to sit, your body kind of falls back in space. Otherwise, just sit on the floor and squish the soles of your feet together. Squish the soles of your feet together. Inhale, lift your heart and chest up. Exhale, start to hinge forward at the hips, continually squishing the soles of your feet together. Walk your hands forward by any amount. It doesn't have to be a lot. Until you feel sensation in your inner groin. Maybe you come a little further, starting to round into your back, inviting stress into all that big band of thoracolumbar fascia in your spine. 3 breaths here. Thank you. Walk your hands back in towards your body. Good. You're sitting on a block. Move that block out to the side. Lean over to your left and take your right leg back behind you. So option 1 is called deer pose, where your legs are set in this 90-90 shape. The left shin parallel-ish with the front of your mat. Right thigh parallel-ish with the front of your yoga mat. And then you'll just fold forward. The intention here is to find a stretch through the outer left thigh. Another way to get that exact same stretch is just to take pigeon pose. So you might stretch your right leg directly back behind you. Hands under your forehead or maybe a block beneath your forehead for 5 breaths. Really good. Push your hands into the floor and lean over to your left and take both legs directly out in front. Both legs come directly out in front. Toes face up to the ceiling. Inhale, reach your arms up. Exhale, hinge forward. Could you catch the outside edges of your feet or maybe your thighs? Inhale, pick your gaze and your heart and your chest up. Exhale, oof, big deep fold. Rounding into your spine, you're here for 5 breaths. Incredible. Lift your heart and chest up. Pause in neutral. Turn your weight over to the right and take that 90-90 shape on the right side. Maybe your weight comes forward straight away, or you could extend your left leg back and release down towards the floor. 5 breaths in pigeon pose. Good. Lift up your torso, lean over towards the right. Bring your legs all the way around. Come to lie down on your back. We just have a few minutes left in this practice. Come to lie down on your back. Hug your knees into your chest and either take the backs of your thighs into your hands or Take the sides of your feet into your hands. So this is happy baby pose. And you just rock from side to side. The next time you rock over towards the right, let go of your legs and let your legs fall all the way over to the right. Open your left arm wide and peer over your left shoulder. You're in a deep spinal twist. Bring your knees back up through center. Pause, place your feet on the floor, shift your hips over to the right. Open your arms wide and let your knees come to the left. 3 simple breaths. Amazing. Bring your legs back through center. And just one more stretch before Shavasana. Place the soles of your feet on the floor. If you brought a block, use a block. Otherwise, you're going to be in a more active bridge. Lift your pelvis up. Maybe interlace your hands. Or if you have a block, just let your sacrum fall down onto that block. Tuck your chin into your chest. 5 breaths here. Good. Push into your feet. Lift your hips up. Lower them down to the floor. Take any final movements before stretching your limbs long. And today, could you place your hands on your belly? Place your hands on your belly for Shavasana. And as you start to relax your physical body, just notice the sensation of your breath. 1 minute of rest here. If you have the time and space to linger in Shavasana, just turn off your camera, end the session, and stay as long as you can. Otherwise, you'll start to move your fingers and your toes. Take a big yawn as you stretch your arms way up overhead. And bend into your knees. Shift over to either side. Pick yourself all the way up to sit. Bring your hands to heart center. Bow your head into your hands. Take a moment to set an intention, a prayer, a wish for yourself or others. feel it with a big breath in and out. Namaste.